Hello.
Hello.
If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that our favourite festival in the entire world is Maryluna Festival. We regularly get questions regarding Maryluna Festival, how to get there, what it's like, what to bring, and all of these things. So this video is going to be a catch-all, how to prepare everything basically for Maryluna Festival, from planning your trip to what to expect when you are there. And thanks to the wonderful people running Maryluna Festival, we have 2 tickets, including camping, for this year's Maryluna Festival to give away to one of you. Yes, you heard me correct. We have 2 weekend festival passes to Maryluna, including camping, to give away to one of you watching this video right now.
Stick around until the end of the video if you want to find out how to enter. So for those of you who don't know what Maryluna is, we're going to explain a little bit about it.
Maryluna is one of the world's largest goth festivals. It takes place every August in Hildesheim in northern Germany. The festival hosts a variety of artists from all different genres like darkwave, death rock, gothic rock, post-punk, industrial, agro-tech, and pretty much anything on the darker alternative side of like goth, EBM, and all the umbrella genres and sister genres. It also regularly features artists from like the gothic metal and symphonic metal genres. For example, last year's lineup featured Icebreaker, Sisters of Mercy, The Mission, Blue Angle, Frontline Assembly, and Priest, just to name a few. This year's lineup, which we are very excited about, contains acts like Within Temptation, VV, Fields of the Nephilim, The 69 Eyes, and London After Midnight, and a lot more artists. But this is like our perfect year. This is a perfect lineup for us. We've never been more excited.
They're my top listen to bands. Last year when we were leaving Maryluna, I said to a bunch of my friends that I would love to see the 69 Eyes, London After Midnight, and Vilvallo play at this festival. Just as we were getting home, I think that's when this was announced, and I was like, everybody, you remember me saying this to you, right? You remember? And they were just like, yeah. I'm like, it's happening. I'm so excited.
So when it comes to tickets for Maryluna Festival, there are a few options available, and tickets usually go on sale shortly after the current year's Maryluna has just ended. So when it comes to day tickets, you can buy a pass for the Saturday or a pass for just the Sunday. The most popular ticket would be the Festival Pass, which is the full weekend access ticket. This ticket gives you complete access to the full weekend of Maryluna, the festival grounds, and the campsite. So your camping is included in the Festival Pass weekend ticket, but that is on a bring your own tent basis. There are optional upgrades and upgrades to the camping and things like that, but we'll get into that later in the accommodation section of this video. For an example of pricing, the singular day tickets for just the Saturday or just the Sunday for this year's festival are currently €89, and the Festival Pass ticket, which gives you access for the entire weekend and the campground access, is €139. So it is a very reasonable and affordable festival, especially the Festival Pass weekend ticket, so you get access to the entire weekend of the festival and the campground for only €139 per person. The festival does actually run for 3 days. It starts on the Friday and ends on the Sunday. So if you are camping, you can go there Friday morning and collect your wristband and access pass to the festival. Friday is also open to everyone with a festival ticket, not just camping. You can go there on Friday and collect your wristband early so that you don't have to queue up on the Saturday, but there are usually no bands on the Friday. They do host events on the festival grounds. In the past, they've had fashion shows, the disco does be open, some of the stalls and stuff can be open for merch, food stalls, etc. are open. We have gone on the Friday before. It is definitely worth going just to get your wristband early so that you don't have to queue up with that on the Saturday morning, and also just to familiarize yourself with the campground. And obviously the disco being open is really cool, and you can go see some of the fashion shows and various talks that they have on. So you've gotten your tickets, you're excited to attend Maryluna Festival for the first time. Usually for us, the first thing that we like to arrange is travel. So if you're like us and you are traveling from outside of Germany, there are a few options to get you to Maryluna Festival. The closest airport to Hildesheim is Hanover Airport. With regards to international flights, you would usually have to fly into somewhere like Munich or Frankfurt and then catch a connecting flight to Hanover. This is the method that we've used every time we have traveled to Maryluna Festival. The first time that we went, we got got a flight from Ireland to Frankfurt and then caught a connecting flight from Frankfurt to Hanover. And last year when we went to the festival, we got a flight directly from Ireland to Munich and then from Munich to Hanover. If you don't want to deal with connecting flights, you can fly into Frankfurt airport and then make your way down to Hildesheim by train. So if you fly into Frankfurt airport and don't connect, there are several options to get to Hildesheim. You can get the ICE train, the S-Bahn, or some regional trains. Bear in mind, some of these trains like the ICE can be quite expensive, almost as much and sometimes even more than the connecting flight down to Hanover. But as far as I know, the ICE is the only direct train that goes from Frankfurt down to Hildesheim. Otherwise, you would probably have to change over at some point to a different train. We know a few people who have done it. Some of them have done it with the regional trains and changing over to different trains. And some of them have gotten the ICE train directly from Frankfurt down to Hildesheim. As I said, we've normally done the connecting flights, but this year we're actually going to be trying the train option. So we'll fill you in on how that goes in this year's Marilona 2023 vlog. If you decide to do what we've done in the past and get the connecting flight from Frankfurt to Hanover, there are then a few options to get you to the festival. On the Friday of Marilona, I believe there is a shuttle service that operates from Hanover Airport directly to the festival grounds. So if you're going to be camping, like the winner of our giveaway at the end of this video, then the shuttle service is a great option for you. I think it's approximately €15 for a single or €30 for a return. Once you've arrived at Hanover Airport and you've picked up your luggage and are exiting, there is a big Marilona stand with festival staff at it that can help arrange the shuttle bus for you if you haven't pre-booked it in advance. I would definitely recommend that option if you are camping for the weekend. It is the easiest way to get to the festival. So if you're not camping at Marilona Festival and you would rather stay at a hotel like we have in the past, there is a train station attached directly to Hanover Airport. Usually what we've had to do in the past is get a train from Hanover Airport into Hanover City and then change over to another train that brings us directly to Hildesheim. It usually only takes about 25-30 minutes if you get lucky with the train schedule and you're not waiting around too long. If you're staying in Hanover City, then you can get the train directly from the airport to Hanover City, or like we said, if you're staying in Hildesheim, you change over at Hanover and there should be a train that takes 2-3 stops before it gets to Hildesheim. Now, you've made it to Hildesheim. You have your tickets, you got your flights, you got your trains, you're in Hildesheim. Where do you go from here? Accommodation. So first, let's talk about the camping options for Marilona. It is probably the easiest option when it comes to accommodation for the festival. It can usually end up being the cheapest option. So Marilona has two different types of camping sections. There is the general campground area, which you get access to with your festival pass weekend ticket. So with that festival pass weekend ticket, they provide you with a certain sized allotment for you to pitch your tent or anything like that. That would be the simplest option when it comes to camping, if you have your tent with you and everything. When you turn up on the Friday to collect your wristbands, they usually escort you to the allotment that they have put aside for you, or the next available one. So that is the simplest and easiest accommodation option. Also in the regular campground, I know they have camper van tickets that you can get as an upgrade so that you can drive your camper van in there. There's also a store on the campgrounds that has everything you would need for camping. As far as I'm aware, they sell like air pumps, mattresses, stoves for cooking, little camping chairs, pretty much anything you would need. You can order this all in advance and then pick it up when you get to the festival ground. These supplies are limited and they do highly recommend ordering everything in advance for pickup when you get there, because you don't want to turn up there with no tent, no mattress, no anything, and then find out that it is all sold out. There is a third party service. It is in German. I cannot remember what it is called, but I think it translates to basically "my tent is ready." Marilona do advertise it on their website for you to access it, and it is essentially the lazy man's camping option, where you pay a little bit of extra money to this third party service and they assemble and set up your tent and everything for you on the campground, so that when you get there you essentially just get escorted to your tent and everything is there ready for you. As I said, that is a third party service and it is an upgrade that you have to pay for on top of your ticket. Personally, I'm a very lazy person, and if I was going to go the camping route and I didn't go for the deluxe camping, I would probably pay to have my tent just set up and ready for me when I already get there.
Also, wouldn't trust if we did it.
Yeah, also
We'll
wouldn't
wake
trust
up
us
and it'll be on top.
to put a tent up. Honestly, I don't have much faith in her ability
No, we
to
have
pitch
never
a tent.
camped before.
So that's nearly everything when it comes to the regular campground experience. There is also a store in the campground. So if you're missing anything you need, like food or drinks, there's a store there that you can go to purchase all those things. things. As far as I know, the most popular items are crates of beer and pasta, because it's the easiest thing to cook if you're camping at a festival. The other option when it comes to camping is the deluxe camping option. This is the Gothic Garden. The Gothic Garden is a paid upgrade to the camping experience, as it is a luxury camping experience. There are several accommodation options available in the Gothic Garden. I will try to list most of them now and give a brief explanation of the differences between them. But any upgrade to the Gothic Garden accommodation comes with access to the Gothic Garden separate campsite, which contains actual flushing water toilets, like real toilets that are separate and only accessible to people who are staying in the Gothic Garden accommodation. And they also have their own running showers, which again are separate and only available to people who are staying in the Gothic Garden, which personally, if we were camping, is worth the upgrade alone, because you get a real toilet that actually flushes and your own separate showers away from the other campsite. So I'm probably going to do a terrible job at pronouncing these options for the accommodation in the Gothic Garden, so forgive me, but I'm doing my best. As far as I know, the most basic option is the Hyaka, which is a TP like tent sort of accommodation for 2 people. These are all already built and ready for you when you arrive there. You don't have to bring your own tent or set anything up. If you're staying in the Gothic Garden, whichever option you book will be ready for you when you arrive there. The Hyaka sleep 2 people. They have their own plug sockets, they have actual working lights, and they have air beds. So obviously the benefit of that being that you'll have your own electricity, you can charge your phone and anything like that you need to charge at night time, and you'll have your own lighting, so you'll be able to get ready in the tent. If not, what we've done before is use the actual Mariluna makeup tents. They have like a whole glam area where you can go. They have hair dryers, straighteners, hairspray, like lit mirrors and everything like that, so you can get ready there. Or you could get ready at the toilet and shower facilities, because they have like mirrors and sinks and running water and stuff. There's also the Daphnis option, which is a really large tent that I think you can stand up in, and it usually sleeps like 6 people. This tent will be ready for you when you get there. Everyone has an air bed, and again, like the other one, it has its own electricity and lighting. The other options are the Proteus, the Umbriel, the Callisto, and the Ganymede, and these all vary in size and pricing depending on which ones you choose. Most of these, as far as I am aware, come with real beds, like actual mattresses, as opposed to air beds. They can sleep anywhere from like 2 to like 6 people depending on which option you choose. These are the far more like lush camping experience when you stay there. So if you're thinking about it, check out all these options and see which ones works for you. I would definitely say check out the Gothic Garden camping if you are considering going to the festival and you could afford the upgrade. They are amazing, and it is probably the only festival in the world I would ever consider camping at.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely the only festival that I would consider camping at. It's just really like a clean festival, very safe. Everybody's just really welcoming there. So if there was ever a festival, this would 100% be the one.
There are also other upgrades available to you if you're staying at the campsite, which you can purchase for an additional fee, including things like access to Wi-Fi, your own generator up to a certain amount of watts and things like that. So definitely check the Mariluna website for anything like that. So if you decide against camping and you want to go for a different form of accommodation, like staying in a hotel, there are plenty of hotel and hostel accommodations available in Hildesheim or also in the nearby Sarstedt. But I definitely think that Hildesheim is the best and most convenient option when it comes to going to Mariluna Festival, just for transport and things like that. And most of the hotels are very, very close to the train station and the shuttle bus service. Some of the options are the Ibis, the A&M, the Nove Hotel, the Intercity, and there's also a bunch of hostel options available. All of those are very, very close to the train station and the shuttle bus to Mariluna, which makes it really easy. I think we've never stayed more than like a just over 5-minute walk when it comes from the hotel to getting back to the train station or the shuttle services. One thing I will say though is that there is a lot of demand when it comes to accommodation around the Mariluna Festival weekend, especially in Hildesheim. So the hotels can end up being a little bit pricey, and a lot of them tend to book up very, very early in advance. And I know that some people as well who go to Mariluna every year usually rebook with their hotel when they are leaving that year for the next year. So I know that some hotels and accommodation can be completely booked out for the following year, less than a week after the current year's festival has ended. But if you do book pretty far in advance, you should be able to get yourself a reasonable accommodation within Hildesheim for that weekend. If you're staying at any of the hotels or hostels within Hildesheim, transport to the festival is fairly easy. Most of these are within a 5 to under 10-minute walk from the train station, and from Hildesheim Central train station there is a shuttle bus service that runs trains directly to the festival grounds. It is pretty inexpensive. As far as I remember, it is usually €4-5 per person per trip, and you can book in advance to get a cheaper rate if you're doing return trips daily to the festival. There is also a taxi stand directly next to Hildesheim train station. In our past experience, it has usually been about €15 to get from Hildesheim central station to the festival ground. So if you're traveling with like 3-4 people, that could end up being a cheaper option than using the shuttle bus service. With regards to getting back to Hildesheim from the festival grounds, I know the shuttle bus stops usually around midnight or just before, so your only option pretty much after that, if you haven't driven to the festival, is to get a taxi. But a lot of people leave the festival after this time, so you could be waiting anywhere from like an hour to get a taxi once you get outside of the festival. So you've did it. You've booked your tickets to the festival. Your flights are sorted. Your accommodation is sorted. What's next? How much do I bring and what do I bring? When it comes to a budget for going to the festival, it really depends on what you want to experience or what you want to do while you are there. If you check out any of our previous Marilona Festival vlogs, you can see that there are a ton of vendors at the festival grounds with everything from shoes, clothing to jewellery and even perfumes. So when it comes to budgeting for that sort of thing, it really depends on how much you yourself plan on buying when you are there. If you're planning on going there and getting a whole new wardrobe worth of clothes, obviously that's going to cost a lot more money. Or say you want to put aside getting a new pair of shoes or anything like that, obviously that's going to affect it. I would say a safe bet, if you are planning on doing a bit of shopping while you are there, picking up a few things like maybe some new shirts, a dress or jewellery or anything like that, €300 to €400 would be a good amount of money to put aside just for that alone, because obviously there are a lot of the big fashion brands there that you can purchase. Some of them can be expensive, some of them can be inexpensive, so it really depends on what you are looking to buy. If you were getting a new pair of shoes and a new dress, that could run you anywhere from €300 to €400 easily. A pair of new rocks could be somewhere from like €200 to €300 alone. But there are also a lot of more affordable clothing options when you are there, depending on the brands that you're looking at. I know in the past when I've been there, I've bought t-shirts that have cost €25 to €30.
And they also have sale rails as well, like lots of sale rails with like dresses and stuff for like €15. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Normally they're like outside the front of the shop, or they could be at the very back of the shop. Also, I do recommend picking up a little bat friend. They're so cute, and they're like €7 to €10, something like that, and they come in like bigger sizes and smaller sizes. The first year we went, I did not pick up a bat, but Conor picked up
this little crow guy the first year that we went there. So be aware, if you are a plushie fan and you are darkly inclined, Marilona is going to be like your absolute dream when it comes to finding your new friends.
It's hard to just go to a shop and buy like black bats. They're normally grey, so I'm gonna pick up more. So you can definitely go there with a different range of money. For example, like on the first year we were going to Japan a couple of months later, so we were on a tight budget and we still had an absolutely amazing time. We even picked up a few like little badges and stuff like that, and Conor got the crow, so absolutely fine. You definitely don't need a lot of money unless you're planning on doing a big shop.
With regards to food options, there are tons of different food stalls at the festival. You can run anywhere from like €6 to like €20 when it comes to different meal options. I think the pizza was like €6 or €7 a slice, like the giant slices. Chicken nuggets were like €6 if you just wanted that. I would definitely recommend keeping a budget of maybe like €40 to €50 a day when it comes to food, especially if you're going to be there from early until really late at night. And then obviously when it comes to things like drinks, you would need to budget according to how much you are planning on drinking when you are there. It is Germany, so the drinks don't cost as much as some other places like here in Ireland. So obviously if you're planning on drinking a lot while you're there at the festival, then you would want to budget more for that.
Also, if you are planning on doing a shop and you're worried about carrying around bags, then you can actually rent a locker to keep your stuff in.
So the last topic is obviously, what do you pack, what do you bring, and what do you need for Marilona Festival? Every time we've gone to Marilona Festival, we have booked a check-in suitcase, like one of the big 20-kilo suitcases that we've shared between the two of us. And we've also brought carry-on cabin bags with us to put our other stuff in. I would definitely say it has been difficult for us to fit everything we wanted and needed between
It's the shoes.
that arrangement. But yeah, it is
It's the
pretty
boots.
much just the shoes and boots that make it that difficult. And another thing to bear in mind is that while it is August and it is Germany, Mariluna Festival can tend to be pretty hot depending on how much you can handle the weather. The times we've been there, it has averaged usually somewhere between 27 to 28 degrees Celsius, which is this much for Americans, because I don't understand the Fahrenheit system no matter how hard I try. And I know most people watching this are probably thinking that's not that hot, but when you look like this and you're dressed like this and you are at the festival grounds from like 11 a.m. noon until like 2 in the morning, walking around in the heat, dancing, listening to bands, shopping and things like that, I can definitely tell you it is hot, okay? It is strong and it can be hard sometimes to deal with. And in fact, last year when we landed, there was actually a heat wave in Germany and it was 39 degrees Celsius when we left the airport, which again is this much for Americans because Fahrenheit makes no sense to me. That is hot. That is crazy hot. Thankfully, the next day when we actually went to the festival, it had cooled down and was the usual sort of 27 degrees Celsius. It is Germany and it is August, so there's always the possibility that it can rain when it comes to the festival. It won't be particularly cold even if it does rain, but that is something to bear in mind. Most of the time, more often than not, the weather does stay clear and sunny the entire time you're there. It can get quite cold at night time, especially in comparison to spending the entire day walking around in the sun in 27 degree heat. Even if it drops down to something like 15, 16 degrees, it can feel quite chilly. If you're not camping at the festival and you are going from accommodation to the festival, it is a good idea to bring like a jacket or a hoodie or something like that that you can put into the lockers or carry around with you the whole time, so that when it gets to night time, the cold doesn't hit you with such a shock like it has me in the past. Also, the stores and stalls at Mariluna Festival do stay open quite late, especially on the Saturday. So if you have the extra funds available, you can do what I've seen other people do, which is once it gets dark and they start to feel a bit cold, they go pick up a jacket, a coat or a hoodie from one of the stalls.
Perfect time to go shopping.
Yeah, perfect time
and
to
also
go
to pick up some merch. So because it's going to be very hot, I definitely recommend you bring in sun cream. For us, like factor 50 or the highest factor that we could possibly get. But also I would recommend bringing a parasol or an umbrella would be great, because if it does happen to rain, then you're protected from the rain and you're protected from the sun. Another thing I like to bring is a fan, so when it does get too hot I can just fan myself down, fan Conor down, fan everybody down. It's helpful, and also you can get really nice fancy looking ones, so it can go great with your outfit as well. Another thing that would be very helpful is to bring sunglasses, because the sun will burn your eyeballs. I think you can also buy some there if you don't have any, and if you want to get some at the festival, you can definitely buy some there as well.
The festival grounds is quite big. There are two main stages. There is the disco, and then there are two different shop and stall shopping areas. On top of that, there is the medieval market area, and then the makeup area and food stalls dotted around the place. So I would say bear in mind that you will be walking around at the festival grounds all day and it will be hot. So whatever shoes you decide to bring, make sure you'll be comfortable walking around in them for 10 to 12 hours in a day in the heat throughout the whole weekend.
Or you might want to suffer for fashion.
When it comes to outfits, every year we tend to do the same thing, which is that on the Saturday, which is the first like official day of the festival when the first bands are on, we tend to wear the fancier, more detailed outfits with like more extravagant makeup and stuff like that, because what happens is when it comes to the Sunday, we are absolutely wrecked and beat down from the day before, and we usually end up going for a more like relaxed, messy, laid back sort of look.
Except for not last year. I decided to wear a fancy dress because I was actually feeling okay. I did plan to dress casual. Everybody was like, oh, like we should dress casual, and I just had this outfit with me and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wear Lolita to Mariluna and see how it goes. You never know how you're gonna feel, so always bring a comfortable outfit as well, just in case you're feeling it. It's good to have an extra outfit just in case, or if you want to buy something there. So if you are worried about going there and not having anything, you could go there on the Friday and get your outfit sorted for like the Saturday or the Sunday. Normally I would do a lot of lace, a lot of flowy lace, really light, and then like a corset, pretty much actually like what I'm wearing today, which to be honest, for some people it could be still too warm. You might just want to wear like a corset like this and then just have nothing on top and maybe like a flowy dress. I think flowy is probably the way to go, although I do see a lot of people that are very dedicated and they do wear like PVC and stuff like that, and PVC boots and gloves and everything. But if you do want to be comfortable but try and look a bit fancy, I think flowy things are definitely the way to go. Flowy dresses, flowy tops like this. Definitely a comfortable pair of shoes and a fancy pair of shoes if you want. To be honest, I personally was okay, so I'm saying, although you might look back at the footage and say I'm gonna be fine, and next of all I'm on the floor and I say I'm falling apart.
I don't know how Lynn is managing in this like full outfit she's in. She's not managing. I don't know how she is gonna last today.
I don't know what was happening there, okay? I just had a moment of weakness, but I was fine. I was absolutely fine. I wore a blouse. I think the first day I actually might have been wearing something like this and then a dress over it, and I think I was really hot, so I took that off and then just had my dress, and then later as it got colder, then I put it back on. But you never know what the weather is going to be like. But make sure to stay hydrated, sit in the shade, make sure to remember to eat, and just some sun cream. So another question we've been asked in the past is whether to bring cash or card. I think always a good idea to have both, but one of the upsides is that there are lots of ATMs at the entrance of the Marilona like festival grounds. So if you do bring a card with you and you happen to not have any like physical cash on you, you can take out money there. But I would say generally as a rule of thumb to bring a certain amount of cash with you every day, just to make sure that you have it in case anything happens with the Wi-Fi or people can't take card payments. But most vendors and stalls at Marilona do take card payments, if not pretty much all of them. Another thing you can do that's very helpful is download the Marilona app. On there you can get updates for when bands are going to start, what's going on the day, maps, things like that. So I find it very helpful. I think there's one in German and one in English. I was stuck on the German one for a while and I was just like trying to learn German at the time and trying to figure it out, but you can actually have either translate to English or you can get an English version. I can't actually remember, which also takes me to another point of just learning some basic German. That's more for outside the festival. At the festival, the majority of people have been speaking English to us and that's been fine. We didn't need to know a lot of German there, but just in the town itself, it was helpful for us just to know some basic German. We have downloaded Duolingo and we are working on that just because we would like to be able to talk to people and we just want to make the little bit of effort to be able to order like food, for example, if somebody doesn't know a lot of English. The first time we went there we didn't know too much German and we got on okay, but there were some times when we had to translate and stuff. We did get on fine, like Lynn said. We did manage, especially if you have your phone, you have the internet and you can use Google Translate and things like that. But it would be helpful if you did learn at least some basic German phrases to get you through the day-to-day, ordering stuff at a restaurant, buying things in shops and things like that. We hope we covered everything in this video. If we didn't, feel free to comment below, let us know if we missed out on something or if there's anything particular that you want to know, and we can let you know in the comments. So that is pretty much everything you need to know about Marilona Festival and preparing to go to Marilona Festival. So if you're still here, you're really interested in going to Marilona Festival, huh? I might know some people who might have tickets to give away to Marilona Festival, including camping. Yes, thanks to the amazing people at Marilona Festival, we have 2 weekend tickets including camping to give away to this year's Marilona Festival to one of you watching this video right now. So to be given a chance to win those tickets, all you have to do is comment down below on this video. Let us know which artist you're most excited about for Marilona Festival this year, or what about the festival you are most excited to see this year. We will be picking one person from the comment section down below and announcing the winner on Sunday, May the 6th. We'll be replying to the comments to let them know that they have won, and we'll also be posting it on the YouTube community tab and over on our Random Goth Couple Instagram page, so make sure to keep your eye on them. So best of luck and get commenting down below. We hope this video was helpful, and as always we hope that you enjoyed it, and until next time, see you in your nightmares.